Welcome in, everybody. I am Das Tulip, and this is your complete guide to everything War3zuk. If you're a fan of Modded 7 Days to Die, go ahead and subscribe down below. Turn on notifications so you know when the next video goes live. We are currently playing through War3zuk now on the channel. The link is up above somewhere. So if you want to start watching that, it's right there and available for you. FYI, there are timestamps down below in the comments for each section that is going to be available in this video. So if you need to look at a specific topic or anything around that, go ahead, take a look down there, and it'll lead you to where you need to go. Now, the first thing that we're going to get into is really the first issue that you need to decide on when you start this mod out. And that is, what class are you going to pick? So if you take a look down in your toolbar when you start the game, you're going to have a clipboard. And it's going to ask you to choose one of these classes. When you do so, it'll give you a briefcase. And when you open said briefcase, you will get some starting gear depending on your class. Now, each class is going to automatically come with a baseball bat, honey-soaked bandages to help you with early infections. I think they only cure about 1% of infections, so not really for those big time things. You will also get food and water. Everything else will be different. You should also know that any tools or armor or weapons that you get in these classes are either going to be tier 1 or tier 2 when you get them. So there is a little bit of a limit on what you're going to get. So let's start off with Bruiser and show you what you're getting here. You are getting a compound bow, which is pretty majestic, starting the game with a tier 3 weapon with 200 iron arrows, an iron sledgehammer, 10 get hammered magazines, 10 knife guy magazines, and a full set of rogue armor. For builder, you are getting a 9mm with 300 bullets. You are getting 10 forged ahead, 10 tool digests, an HD repair kit for your weapon, which, if you have a weapon, like an actual gun, shotgun, rifle, anything like that, in your starting gear, you will get one HD repair kit for that. And we'll get into that in a later portion of this video, what you need to do for that. You also get 100 nails and then a stack of iron, stone, and wood to help you get your base going. For engineer, you will get a desert vulture with 200 bullets. You will get 2 robotic turrets with 500 ammo. You'll get a stun baton, you'll get 10 magazines for vehicles and tech planet, 25 coffees, and you'll get the chassis and handlebars for the mini bike, along with 1,000 gas to go in that once you find an engine, a headlight, a battery, and 2 tires. So that's not bad at all. Farmer class, you get an iron crossbow with 200 bolts, a shoddy bow body with 200 shells, 10 cooking magazines, 10 tool digest, 10 coffees, 2 Grandpa's moonshine, 5 hobo stew, 5 hobo stew, and 5 sham chowder. So you will be well fed to get all of your goodies going sooner. In gunman, you will get an SMG with 350 bullets, 10 handgun magazines, 5 painkillers, and you'll get this bundle that includes one of each of the CNC machines that go into the HD gun bench to make HD guns, which again, we'll get into later on in the video. A hunter class, you will get the 44 Magnum with 150 bullets, a hunter rifle with 200 bullets, 10 handgun magazines, 10 rifle magazines, plus the hunter mod, a 4x scope, and 10 painkillers. So that's not bad either. Actually, none of these are horrible. Mechanic, you get the 44 Magnum with 200 bullets, the stun baton, 10 handyman magazine, 10 scrapping magazines, 20 scrapping magazines, 10 vehicle magazines, plus 20 coffee. You start with a wrench, which is also awesome, and the handlebars and chassis for the bicycle. For medic class, you get the shoddy with 200 shells, 10 medical journal magazines, 10 shotgun magazines, plus you get aloe cream, antibiotics, fort bites, casts, and 6 steroids. Those 6 steroid shots by themselves, which you'll learn later in the video, is pretty fantastic early game. Next, we come to Miner class, which is my personal favorite. With that, you get the shotgun with 200 bullets, 10 forge ahead, 10 tool digest, a miner's helmet with the flashlight, as well as 25 iron, 25 steel, and stacks of iron, wood, and stone. You get basically everything you need in order to build your base, get down a forge and a workbench, and basically have tier 5, tier 6 of the lowest level of tools available for you right off the game, or right off the clip. And last but not least, we have the rifleman, which is the lever action rifle with 200 bullets. You get 10 rifle magazines, and that's about it. So it's okay. So that is all of your starting equipment. So once you decide what class you want to take, then the real fun starts. Okay, so you have loaded into the game, you've chosen your class, and you've completed your starter quests, which will let you know where your trader is. A few things that you need to know before heading off to the trader. Number one, when you start the game, you only get this top row available in your backpack. So it is not going to take long for you to be over encumbered. Okay, just by completing my task, collecting a few things, looting that car, the one that's up here, plus a few nests to get some feathers, I'm already over. There's a delicate balance here. And the delicate balance is War3zuk as a mod, as an overhaul mod, does a really good job of making you use stuff that is normally just thrown aside in vanilla. Like, you get to day 14 of vanilla, you're like, I know exactly what I need. This stuff is garbage. I'm not going to keep a hold of it. Yada, yada, yada. And War3zuk, you're going to need all of that shit. Like, literally all of it. Okay? So there's a delicate balance on keeping what you need and getting rid of the things that you don't. Early game especially, you are going to get encumbered very easily. So you have to be prepared for that or make some really difficult choices. Let's go ahead and start working towards the trader here, and we'll get into some additional tips along the way. The second thing you need to realize is there is no such thing as a safe zone per se. I mean, chances are you are going to run into radiated dogs. You are going to run into ferals. Like, for instance, there is a radiated Big Mama, as well as a biker on the way. It does not matter that you are in the forest biome or that you are early on in the game and your levels are low. You will run into the biggest, meanest things even on your way to Wrecked on day 1. Also, as you just saw from that one thing of garbage, there is no need to play this game on more than 100% loot. And you know how you could change the loot settings in the beginning of the game or on the main screen? You don't need to increase. You will get plenty of loot along the way. There are zombies that have weapons, so you have to be careful of those as well. They will shoot at you. Just here. Just case in point, we have a radiated phantom over there and a screamer bear right outside of Wrecked on our way here. These are two very difficult zombies. There have been people in my videos saying that getting this powerful of a start is cheating. You can see that it is not. If I was just trying to beat those guys with a tier 1 club, I'd already be dead. There's no two ways around it. Another piece that you need to be aware of. In order to kind of get around the loot abundance in this game, you have to find HD rucksack mods for your armor. Each rucksack mod will free up another line within your backpack. So when it comes to the rucksack mods, You will find them in 4 main areas. Number 1, army vehicles, army trucks. The second is dumpsters. And the third are lockers. Very rarely, for number 4, you can find them in just piles of trash, but it is extremely rare. The weird part about that is you find yourself going through piles of trash a hell of a lot more in an early game than you would probably find lockers, army vehicles, and dumpsters, depending on what town you start in. So chances are you will find more rucksacks in those piles of trash early on than you will anywhere else because you just run into them more. Speaking of encumbrance, we are already, having just entered this place, we are 17 over on encumbrance. I'm going to show you just by clearing out wrecked just how encumbered you become. Okay, so just by looting this building and its surrounding area, because you can damn near loot everything. All of these piles that you normally would only be able to dig up with a shovel, you can loot them before you dig them up. We are currently 46 slots over encumbered. And these are the types of things you're going to find. I mean, you have your farm life skill magazines. You can go ahead and do that. So you can make wood planters now. There's a farm bundle. So that'll give me 3 plots, plus unlock some seeds for us, plus give you some seeds. But now, even after opening that up, I'm now 48 over. So it's rough. And a lot of that has to do with the additional items that you can get in War3zuk. So, for instance, black pepper, chocolate, mustard, tonic water, brass wire, which get as much brass wire as you can from those casks, because those smelt down into a lot of brass. A lot of brass. Nuka bottle caps, which you can use to create Nuka Colas, which give you fantastic benefits. So yeah, make sure before you head into the trader, you set up a lovely little storage container outside so you can put stuff out there until you're able to find a base. Another tip that you should all be aware of is that there are HD versions of damn near everything in this game. And on most occasions, those HD versions are going to be a hell of a lot better than the vanilla versions. For instance, right now, I created the HD Taz's hatchet. So much better than the primitive hatchet. So much better. For early game, look at creating scrap, the scrap iron knife, the scrap iron shovel, the scrap iron axe, all of these, the scrap iron club. All of these are going to be fantastic early game tools and weapons that you can use to be a little bit more successful. Do not, under any circumstance, create pipe weapons in this mod. Number 1, they don't do enough damage for the zombies that you're going to come up against. Number 2, they take too long to reload and you will die very quickly. And number 3, it's a waste of ammo because of 1 and 2. You are just going to die over and over and over again. My last early game advice for you is to collect up at least 100 paper. There are 2 quests that you are able to complete fairly early on in the game that is going to allow you to survive a hell of a lot longer. And it is the War3zuk armor quest and the War3zuk blade quest. Once you complete the armor quest, you will get a full set of lumberjack armor. And then once you complete the blade quest, you will get a tier 6 HD machete, which is mwah. Now, the thing is, the armor quest is, I believe both the armor and blade quests are actually like tier 3 clear quests. So be prepared going in that it's not going to be easy to get through these. And there is going to be some challenge to them. And there is a radiated cop over here. It's all bad news. It's all bad news around here. There is no safety. But actually, all of our HD quests just became available, so I think it's time for us to switch over to see exactly what all of those are. All right, so you have yourself a base, you're starting to collect some materials, and you figure you want to start going through all these class quests. Well, let's lay it all out on what exactly you do. Now, some of these are going to be very easy for you to complete. You're going to be able to do them within the first week. Others are going to take a lot more time because they're hidden behind the magazines. And as we get to those, I'll be sure to point them out. The first set of tasks are going to be the armor class tasks. Now, you'll start out by creating all of your primitive armor. That's super easy. It takes 20 wood, 20 fiber, and you're able to get tier 1 all the way through. As you get those armor books, you'll unlock medium and heavy armor. With those, it's going to be very beneficial for you to just go ahead and get through all the tier 1. Don't try going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, anything like that. And just to show you what I mean by this, for each one of these tasks, and as you can see, there are 5 different armor sets that you have to create. To do tier 1, it takes 20 cloth and 4 armor kits, which are fairly easily made. If you were to do tier 6 of any of these, it takes, to complete all 4 in the set, it takes 24 armor kits, 100 cloth, 100 iron, 100 steel, and 4 of the legendary parts boxes. So that's a pretty damn big difference. Just do tier 1, get through them, because once you get through all of these, you are going to get tier 6 HD military gear, which is basically the commando in the game. And you'll get a vending machine that you're able to use for additional armor down the road if you want like armor bonuses for having complete sets of all the other sets there. So that is what you will need in order to complete the armor class tasks. Moving to Bruiser, all of the materials I'm using to create the lowest tier for these, and it just each tier up, you're gonna have to use more and more materials in order to get them completed. So the first one is the HD bone knuckles. In order to do that, you're going to need 100 iron, 10 leather, 36 bones, and 40 brass. And you'll be able to get that. Moving on to the HD scrap iron club, you'll need 30 iron, 20 wood, 2 nails, and 2 duct tape. And you'll be able to get that completed. For the iron sledgy boy, 15 wood, 3 leather, 45 iron, and 3 duct tape. And then this is where it gets a little more difficult, because in order to create the HD steel baseball bat, you actually need to have the magazines to create a steel club. So once you get to that level, then to create a tier 1 bat is going to be 60 wood, 30 leather, 90 steel, and 4 steel club parts. And then I believe in order to make the HD steel knuckles, the last one in this one, you're going to have to be spec'd in to have the steel knucks. So again, you're going to have to get the books in order to do that. And then it's going to be 40 brass, 10 leather, 20 steel, and 5 duct tape. But once you get all of that done, you will get tier 6 steel knuckle. You will get a tier 6 HD machete, which if you've already done the War3zuk blade quest, you already have that. So that's just sellable. And you'll get a steel sledgehammer as well as the bruiser vending machine. Moving on to builder, the first task you're going to need to do is to create the HD mini hatchet, which when you start the game, I always recommend making the HD Taz's hatchet to get you going. But as you move forward, the HD mini hatchet is going to help you a lot more than the Taz's hatchet. So it's a good transfer until you're able to unlock the steel axe for all of your wood cutting needs or breaking down things in POIs, yada yada yada. So in order to make a tier 1 mini hatchet, it's 20 iron, 10 duct tape, 10 leather, 10 wood, And then in order to complete this tier of the quest, you actually have to repair it as well. So you hit something once, you repair it, you're done. The second tier is to collect 3,000 wood, 3,000 soil, and 3,000 stone. That's it. And it's the same for the third section of this quest. You have to collect 3,000 iron, 20 forged iron, 1,500 raw iron, 10 leather, and 10 duct. And then the third part is done. The fourth part of this quest is to create 50 building blocks. That's it. Create them, lay them down, and upgrade them to wood, and that part is done. The part after that is where it starts getting into some shenanigans, because you need to create an HD auger and an HD chainsaw. Now, in order to create a tier 1 of all of these things, you need to have the vanilla chainsaw and auger, 10 motor tool parts, 10 oil, and 10 repair kits in order to create those. So either A, if you're able to get the auger or chainsaw out of an airdrop or the traders or something like that, just set those aside so that you're able to make the HD versions a little bit easier. And then once you're all done with that, you'll get 10,000 cobble, 10,000 concrete mix, 500 steel, the HD hazmat mask schematic, which we'll get into later, and you'll get the builder's vending machine, which is actually a really good vending machine to have because it has all your duct tapes. It has all of your smeltables, not only for the forge, but also for the chem station. It has acid. It has basically, when it comes to smelting or anything you're going to make in a workbench, it has all of that crap. So you're going to be well taken care of if you're able to get that vending machine. Moving on to the cook quest. So in each level of this quest, there are 2 War3zuk specific foods that you need to make. I have combined them all on one line. So in order to take care of the first section of this, you're going to have to make the Camo's Bafanas and Nyan's Yakitori. In order to do that and get both of those taken care of, it's 50 raw meat, 50 animal fat, 10 cornmeal. Sorry, Glock, you're going to have to do it. 5 chili, 10 sham sandwiches, which as you're going through the POIs, all of the toasters in the kitchens of the POIs, whether they're tier 1 going up, they all have sham sandwiches in them. So make sure you get in the toasters. And then also 5 beer. Moving on to the second section, we have Rallis Borscht and Aaron Rocket Stars Fritos and eggs. To complete that, you need the raw meat, animal fat, cornmeal, eggs, mushrooms, potatoes, and soup stock. From there, we move on to iPossum's Pavlova and Klaus Gamer's beefsteak and fries. In order to take care of all of that, you need 20 raw meat, animal fat, cornmeal, eggs, potatoes, pears, and honey. So make sure that if you are in the forest biome, go through all of those tree trunks. They're just the stumps. Don't only loot them, but tear them down as well to get enough honey to make sure that this happens. All right. Don't set yourself up for failure on that. Moving on to the fourth task, it's going to be Queen of Scream's chili burrito and Papa's baby back spare ribs. You need 45 raw meat, animal fat, cornmeal, and the chili as well. Chili is very heavily used in these, and you need a lot of it. Trust me. If you find chili, save it. Don't use it. Don't eat it. Don't do it. And last but not least, you have Donna's Fubar Stew and Fax Fox's Fur Burger, to which you need raw meat, animal fat, more sham sandwiches, bones, spam, soup stock, and tuna. If you're able to get through all of that, then you get the food vending machine, which you see these warm, chunky stews. It's filled with those. It's absolutely filled to the brim with those. You also get the HD meat hammer and meat cleaver, which are decent melee weapons. But if you are able to get to the HD steel bat or the HD machete, just stick with those. They are far better than these, but these are good secondary options. If you want to go all melee, boom, that's perfect for you. You also get the hazmat schematic for the boots as well. Boots! All right, moving on to engineer. This is one that's going to take a while for you to complete. The first step not as bad. You need to go around, you need to collect 200 electrical parts, 200 mechanical parts, 100 scrap polymers, 50 leather, 40 duct tape, and 20 oil. And that'll take care of that one. The second one, you need to create the generator bank, which it is going to take iron, mechanical parts, and electrical parts for you to complete that. The problem with this is you need to be going through and getting as many wiring books in order to get these going. For instance, I just passed day 28 Horde in my War3zuk playthrough that I have separately, and I still don't have enough wiring books to make the battery bank yet, which is super frustrating because I would love to get this particular class quest done for the rewards. But I digress. So once you get the generator bank done, you need to go onto the battery bank once it's unlocked, which is going to take 10 iron, 11 electrical parts, and 6 scrap polymers. No biggie. No biggie there. The fourth quest is to just create a wire tool and an electrical relay. And that is, you need very minimal materials in order to complete both of those. The last part of all of this is to create the HD cell generator as well as 6 HD cells. That's a problem. It's not really a problem. If you like wrenching cars, you'll probably have enough batteries to take care of all of this for you, because these are all the batteries that you need in order to create these 6 cells. They each take 4 batteries, as well as 36 duct tape, 120 steel, 120 polymer, and 30 oil. And you're set on the battery. The generator takes iron, forged iron, mechanical and electrical parts, polymers, and oil to create itself. Now, here's the thing. If you are able to get this completed, having these 6 battery banks in there, you could probably power a city with this one HD cell generator. And there's no fuel that goes into it. It's just these cells, and the cells never need to be recharged. You're set for life. All you need to do is set up electric relays to go wherever the hell you need them to, and you're done. Which I especially love with the HD Tesla coils, because you try to set up an HD Tesla coil on a regular generator, you might be able to get 2. Might be able to get 2 with all the engines in there and all the fuel in there. And that's a big might. But with these 6 cells, it's cake. You got room for like 14 electric fences. But yeah, once you get that completed, you get the engineer vending machine, which also has a lot of those building materials, the steel, the iron, the electrical parts, the duct tape, the acid, all of that stuff is going to be in there for you. But then you also get 20 HD breaching C4, 20 HD ground mines, 5 HD blade traps, which the durability on those far outweigh the vanilla blade traps. And then you also get 5 HD dart traps, which are chef's kiss as well. Moving on to farmer quests. This is one of the ones you're really going to want to look to try to get done as quickly as possible for multiple reasons. The first reason is mainly the loot that you get for completing it, but we'll get to that in a second. So the first thing you need to do is gather 80 wood, 200 rotting flesh, 2,000 clay soil, and 500 nitrate powder. Collect those, set them aside. Then you need to collect 20 goldenrod, 20 ears of corn, and 20 chrysanthemum. Set them aside. Then you need 20 potatoes, 20 blueberries, and 20 coffee beans. Set them aside. For the fourth part of this task, you need to create 20 farm plots. Easy peasy. And then once you do the farm plots, you need to create seeds if you don't already have them, or just go ahead and plant them if you do. You need to plant 3 goldenrod, 3 corn, 3 chrysanthemum, 3 potatoes, 4 blueberry, and 4 coffee. You do that, you get a tier 6 HD spats shotgun, which to me is by far the best shoddy, if not gun, in this mod. Hands down, period, done. And then you also get the farmer's vending machine, which has pretty much all the seeds you're going to need for the rest of your life. Next, we move on to the gun quest. Now, again, These are all you need for tier 1 of these guns. So if you are of the mind, which I can completely get behind, that you want to wait to create these guns as you level things up, by all means, wait. The Colt 1911 is going to be based on handgun, like just a regular 9mm. So if you're at tier 6, or if you got quality 6 on your 9mm, you're golden there. The Desert Eagle Punisher is going to be based on the Desert Eagle, the Deagle, if you will. The Mossberg 500 is going to be based on your pump shotgun, if you have that unlocked. The M4A1 carbine is going to be based on your AK level. And the M1 Grand, I believe, is going to be based on your lever action. So keep that in mind as you're going through your books to complete this task. Here are all the parts you need in order to do them. Some form of iron or steel or both. You're going to need springs. You're going to need mechanical parts. And for all but the M1 Grand, you're going to need polymer. It's wood for that one. But once you get this task all done, this Shaytak M300, beautiful. You get a tier 6 with 500 ammo, the silencer, and the scope. It's marvelous. By far the best sniper in the game. By far. We'll just leave it at that. And then you also get the gunman vending machine, which will provide you with different weapons, and I believe maybe a little bit of ammo in there. But yeah, it's all great things to have there. Moving on to mechanic. This is all going to be based on your vehicle magazines. So as you unlock the bike, mini bike, the motorcycle, and the 4x4, you'll be able to make them for your cat. So the first part of this is to gather up 250 forged iron, 100 forged steel, 25 springs, 50 oil, 50 duct tape, and 50 leather. And then from there, it is making the chassis and making sure that you have the headlights, the engines, the batteries, you know, the wheels, all of the stuff that you need to make those. And then once you get them all completed, you get the vending machine, which will provide you with parts for all types of vehicles. You also get the HD War3zuk 4x4, which is a fantastic vehicle as well, and the schematic for the hazmat jacket. Now, I will go ahead and also say, when it comes to creating vehicles in War3zuk, there are so many additional vehicles that you can make in this game. Explore them. Find what you feel is your favorite one. You don't like the Eurocopter? That's what I call it, because it makes me hungry when I think of Euros. Anyway, you don't like the Eurocopter? They have a couple other choppers that you can build. You don't like the regular motorcycle? There's a chopper you can build. You can build a Charger instead of having a 4x4. There's, I think you can build like an ice cream truck or some shit. I don't know. Just get out there, take a look at what's available, and build to your heart's content. All right? That's your Tulip PSA for mechanics. Now, for medic, this is going to be all about the medic magazines in order to unlock the things and stuff that you need to do them. The first thing you're going to need to make are splints, which easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then the second task is to create 5 bandages and then turn said 5 bandages into 5 first aid bandages using aloe. Once you have that done, you have to make some plaster casts with cornmeal, again, sorry Glock, murky water, sand, and cloth. And then from there, you need to make first aid kits. In order to do that, you need to get the grain alcohol going. If you don't find it in the world, you can make it in the chem bench or in the fire. So make sure you keep an eye out for all those shenanigans. And then take those 5 first aid kits and turn them into HD first aid kits. All right, once you get that completed, you will get the medic vending machine as well as 2 of all of the disease cures, which we'll have a quick snippet on each of these toward later on in the video. But there are 5 different diseases that you can get from 5 different possible places, and they're are your cures for them. All right, next we have the psychopath. Now, psychopath hits different. Psychopath has you go through and kill animals. I am just going to say good luck on that. In order to clear the first tier of psychopath, you have to kill 10 rabbits and 10 chickens. From there, it goes up. You will have to kill a multitude of wolves, dire wolves, cougars, bears, vultures, radiated dire wolves, radiated bears. I mean, it's a lot. I didn't list it out because it's a lot, and I figured I'll leave you with some surprises. I'm not going to spoil everything, just 95% of everything for you. But if you are able to get through all of that, you'll get the psychopath vending machine, as well as a tier 6 M1 Grand and 500 bullets. Is it worth it? That is up for you to decide. And then last but not least is the rad add-on stats. This is basically all of the stuff that this would be like the final one that you do after you unlock all the other class tasks and you get all of the schematics for these things. In order to make these particular add-ons for your armor, you are going to need to make 160 HD hazmat fibers, and here is all the shenanigans that you're gonna need in order to do that. 2,000 fiber, 2,000 polymer, 160 duct tape, and 32 bottles of acid. That will make you the 160 hazmat fibers that you need to complete this. And then on top of that, you're gonna need 120 more duct tape, 1,000 more polymers, and 20 more sewing kits in order to actually create the mods to put into your armor. Now, if you go in, so as you're exploring the map, you may come across radiated areas. On the map, they show up as red. If you go in there without these, all 4 mods, all 4 of these on your armor, you're in a world of hurt. So keep that in mind if you want to get into some of those more difficult POIs that are radiated. You're gonna need all of these shenanigans. But that pretty much takes care of all of your class tasks. So if you have any questions around any of those, make sure you put them down in the comments, and I'm usually pretty quick to get back to anybody that has questions about the mod. So from here, let's actually go ahead and talk about all of those diseases that we were just discussing. All right, so we've made our way outside, and we're going to talk briefly about diseases in War3zuk. There are specific creatures where if you get hit by them, you have a chance of contracting a particular disease that will affect your stats. Each disease affects a different stat. Now, once you get this disease, you have 2 hours, I believe, outside of game, not in game, but outside of game, to cure this disease in order to get rid of it. Or else, you basically have a 5% chance of becoming deceased. So, prior to you being able to unlock the ability to make first aid kits, you are not really going to have the ability to create these cures. So, with that being the case, I believe about the only place that you're able to possibly procure these cures prior to being able to make them on your own or finishing the medic quests is possibly by getting them out of an airdrop. So keep that in mind and honestly try to avoid getting hit by these particular creatures so that you don't have to worry about it in the first place. Okay? The first creature that we have to worry about is the vulture. This wandering horde doesn't even see me. Keep going. Keep going. I'm invisible. You have to watch out for vultures. Vultures, if you get hit by a vulture, you have the chance of getting the bird flu. Bird flu affects your fortitude and will make your fortitude go down to 1 no matter how many points you have put into it. This will also make all of your stats that are under the fortitude tree go down to 1 as well. So, bummer. The next one up is the dog. Any dog. Dire wolves, regular wolves, zombie wolves. If they hit you, they can give you rabies. Which, oh, now you decide to come in? Now you decide to come in? Anyway, I digress. So dogs of any kind can give you rabies. Rabies will affect your strength skills. So everything in your strength skills will become a 1 if you get hit by a dog and get rabies until you're able to cure it. The next one on the list is the hazmat. The hazmat has the ability to give you MRSA, which will affect your perception tree. It'll take it down to 1. So if you like your spears and you like your lucky looter, avoid getting hit by the hazmat guys, or else you're gonna lose some skills until you're able to get everything cured in that aspect. The next one up is the nurse. Nurses have the ability to give you brain herpes, which will affect your intelligence scores, bringing them down to 1. So make sure that you avoid them like the plague. And last but not least, we have the party girl. If she hits you, she has the possibility of giving you, no. She has the possibility of giving you bullock rot. Painful. Bullock rot will affect your agility, bringing all of your agility scores down to 1. So make sure that you try to avoid her in that aspect. So basically those are the 5 different creatures / zombies that will give you the diseases. So try to avoid them at least until you're able to get some things unlocked to where you're able to make those cures so you're able to live. Again, if you get them, you have a 5% chance of surviving, or else game over. So especially for all of you crazy permadeath players out there, you're gonna want to avoid every single last one of them. All right, the last section of this little tutorial, we're going to talk about farm life. It's massive. That's what she said. Okay, so farm life. Up until version 1.0, farm life was an additional mod that you could add to War3zuk, or an entirely separate mod altogether. Now, farm life and War3zuk have come together for a beautiful marriage of all types of new and amazing and very intense things to grow and cook and build. There's a lot. There is a lot. Just to give you an idea, I'm not going to get too far into farm life because, number one, like I said, there's a lot, and number two, I don't know everything about it. I'm actually, in my playthrough that I'm working on right now, I'm just getting into farm life stuff. So this is a lot of this I've learned from Morbidly Morose, who is a Twitch streamer, content creator, does a lot of modded 7 Days to Die over on Twitch, and a couple other sources as well. Paisley and DDP, who are both members of my community, and both streamers too, if they were to stream again. I have a lot of room to talk in that fashion as well, though. But anyway, so just looking at the new plants that you can plant. These are all of the different things that you can go through and plant. There is a lot. This is basically just 2 of each of the seed packets that you can get, including what is over here. On top of that, we have the Farm Life Workbench, which will allow you to go in. There are a lot of additional workstations you can build for Work Life, which we'll get to in a moment. But this is where you build all of them and where you build all of the inserts that go into them. On top of that, you can also build salmon and alligator ponds, and you have to build crafting benches, which are all of these. These crafting benches are then used to create baby versions of all of these animals, which you can then grow. Here are the ponds, here are the animals, And when you grow them, you can then harvest them and get all kinds of shenanigans. That's the only one I'm gonna do right now, but it's a lot. I know I keep saying it's a lot, but it really is. I mean, these are all of the fruits and veggies that you can get from all of the additional trees. Oh, we didn't even look at trees. We didn't even look at trees, guys. What am I doing? What am I doing? Karen, stop it. Here are all the trees. So if we go ahead and take a look from a bird's eye view, this is what it looks like if you plant 4 of each tree. You need a lot of space in order to take care and grow as much as you are going to need. As it boils down to it, there are certain trees and veggies that are more important than others. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So the 2 most important veggies to plant early and often are going to be sorghum and wheat. Sorghum and wheat are mixed together in order to create animal feed, along with hay bales and cans of boiled water, which are an entirely separate thing. But animal feed is needed in order to not only create the farm life crafting stations, but also in order to create baby versions of these animals, you also must have animal feed to take care of that. On top of that, the most important trees to plant are maple trees, walnut trees, and white oak trees, because you get special wood from those trees specifically for the making of alcohols and other sorts of things there. To go back to the veggies and fruits that you get from the trees and plants, these are also all the meats that you get from the animals that you are able to grow from farm life. All of these things combine into making jerkies and fresh meats, making bourbon, scotch, vodka, whiskey, making the mashes for those particular alcohols in order to make them. There are juices and ice creams and ground beef and marinated barbecue elk and all kinds of things in here. There are all kinds of salads and chopped and diced veggies that you can create in here. It goes on and on. Here are all the additional foods that you can create once you create all of those other different, it is a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole that you have to go down to create things. Now, one thing that my boy DDP has told me on numerous occasions, especially when it comes to the steel bat, is if you get some whiskey up in you, it helps with melee quite a bit more than beer or even my own milky stout that you can create just for schnitz and giggles. So, like I said, farm life is a lot, guys. It's more than one can probably cover in a single video. But if somebody did do it, more power to you. Like I said, I'm just getting into all of these shenanigans, and the more I look at it, the more I find. So yeah, farm life is a lot. And if you enjoy the farming and making food aspect of 7 Days to Die, you are going to be in heaven with all of this stuff. So I think that pretty much covers most everything to do with this War3zuk mod overhaul that I have enjoyed for years. I hope that you have found this video to be enlightening in some form or fashion. If there's anything that you want more information on, feel free to reach out on my socials down below or put something down in the comment section below, and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. I am also going to go ahead and down below list War3zuk's Discord. So if you have any issues with the mod, there's a direct link to go into his Discord and ask any questions that you have that, you know, when it comes to technical stuff, I'm not very good. So if you're getting errors or anything like that, I'm not going to be able to help you with that. I'm sorry. I apologize wholeheartedly. But War3zuk's Discord is a fantastic resource for anything to do with that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have found that the content is useful for you. And until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, try to stay sane. We'll catch you later.